So this videocast is titled The Benefits of a Healthy Active Lifestyle. Just to show you a quick screenshot of the specification again, and just so that you're aware exactly what knowledge and understanding you need to have for this area of the course. What we'll basically be looking at then over the course of this videocast are what constitutes a healthy active lifestyle. So what's the definition of a healthy active lifestyle? What does it need to be made up of? What are some general recommendations? We'll be looking at classifying the benefits of a healthy active lifestyle, focusing on the social, physical and mental benefits. We'll describe how physical activity can help achieve these 6 things here. And we'll also be looking at what attributes or qualities or skills physical activity can stimulate should you seek to be involved in it. The next thing I just wanted to quickly show you was this image here, which is quite a well-known image and poster. And obviously it says the human body was never designed for a sedentary lifestyle. It was created to hunt saber-toothed tigers and walk 40 miles a day. And sometimes we forget that our body has an innate need for physical activity. And obviously a huge amount of the population don't meet the national recommendations for physical activity. And as a result, that has quite significant implications on their health. So these people who aren't fulfilling their innate need to be physically active, we would call them people who lead a sedentary lifestyle, people who are static and inactive for huge amounts of time, and as a result can experience some of the negative consequences on their health of this lifestyle. Now these people miss out on a huge amount of physical benefits, mental benefits and social benefit, and for your exam it's essential that you're able to identify what some of these benefits are. A good way to think about this sometimes is if you were trying to sell or pitch physical activity to somebody, what might be your justifications or reasons for somebody having an active lifestyle? What would the man hunting the saber-toothed tigers experience and get out of being physically active throughout his day, as opposed to the man you're currently looking at leading a sedentary lifestyle parked on a bench? Now, over the course of the last few years, while studying GCSE PE, you will have identified and discussed a huge amount of reasons why physical activity or exercise are of benefit to the human body or to the human being. I found this poster that I just wanted to bring to your attention, and I think serves as a good representation of the value of physical activity and why it's so fundamentally important to good health. There's obviously 50 reasons here why exercise or physical activity are so fundamental, but there's some that I've starred for you that I would suggest are good references and the ones to identify if encouraged to in your exam. So I'll give you a chance obviously to read all 50, but just to go through the starred ones. Firstly, this poster suggests that physical activity, or exercise as it calls it, helps build self-esteem. Now it's fine to be able to just simply identify that, and it might sort of be challenged in one of your multiple choice or shorter answer questions, but if you're aspiring to high grades, you need to be able to elaborate on how physical activity helps build self-esteem. So making reference to the fact that somebody who's regularly physically active has the opportunity to experience success and the fulfillment of goals and everything that goes with physical activity. And obviously through that will make somebody more confident and have an improved self-esteem that can then be translated to other aspects of life. The second starred benefit of physical activity is a boost to your immune system. So somebody who's regularly physically active is less inclined to become ill. There's various reasons why this might be, and it's been quite heavily researched previously. This could be attributed to higher counts of white blood cells in more physically active, less sedentary people, and that obviously allows an individual to fight off infections and viruses, which will obviously then boost their immune system. The impact of this would be obviously less time off work, less time off training, off exercise. So some quite holistic, broad benefits of an improved immune system. The next one down is a mental benefit, which is a reduction in stress levels. Again, to elaborate on that, which would be really important, is that somebody who's physically active has an outlet for their stress, a distraction for their stress even. And through being physically active, you may well forget about some of your endeavours or some of your pressures from within your life. And it also gives you what we might call a cathartic release, a cathartic outlet for stress or for aggression, which will ultimately give you maybe a little bit more stability and a little bit more mental well-being. We won't have time to cover all of them, but the next one probably that's most significant, I would say, is the strengthening of your bones, which is another physical benefit of being physically active. So somebody who's physically active and who ideally completes weight-bearing exercise will have stronger, more rigid bones and increased bone density as a result of that load. That makes somebody less inclined to get osteoporosis, which is a condition that you'll need to learn about, that basically makes bones more brittle and fragile as a result of calcium deficiency or the stealing of calcium to be sourced elsewhere in the body. And this can make everyday tasks quite challenging, makes the bones in the body very prone to fracture. And in the time we've got, probably the last one I'll mention is number 45, which is an improved concentration. So somebody who's physically active is likely to experience lots of stimulation, lots of engagement, and that engagement and stimulation is likely to allow somebody to be more able to concentrate on other tasks and other stimuli. Quite often when we lack concentration, it's because of fatigue or because we've become lethargic. So somebody who's more physically active is going to be less susceptible to fatigue and being lethargic, and hence be able to concentrate on tasks and be able to be more effective at work or in various other environments. Now, you can obviously pause this video cast now and have a look at all 50 of these and make whatever notes you see fit. You should hopefully identify that most of these are physical benefits of physical activity, which tends to be reflective that ultimately physical activity has a greatest impact on physical well-being, and also there's a few mental well-being benefits on there as well. There's very little, if any, social benefits on this poster, so it's important that you might reflect and look back at your notes on socially, what does somebody who leads a very active lifestyle get out of being physically active. Things that I would want to be mentioning here are that physical activity as a social benefit gives you the chance to meet like-minded people. It allows you to develop interpersonal skills. It allows you to have relationships with those like-minded people. And it allows you to develop networks of people that you might call upon in times of hardship or when you need guidance or support. So having established what some of the many, many benefits are of being physically active, what we now need to do realistically is establish what is a healthy active lifestyle. What does it consist of? The first thing I've put at the top of this image is the World Health Organization's definition of what it is to be healthy. And I'll read it out for you. It is: good health is a complete state of physical, mental and social well-being, not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. So basically the World Health Organization think that in order to be healthy, you must have a balance of all three of the components that we've mentioned so far. So to use that poster as a stimulus, in order to have physical well-being, we need to be free from osteoporosis, we need to have low blood pressure, we need to have a good BMI, we need to have low body fat levels, we need to have a healthy diet, we need all of those physical benefits or those physical components. Mental well-being would be being free from stress, being free from anxiety, being high in confidence, being high in self-esteem. And in order to be classed as being socially well, we need to have support networks, we need to have family and friends that we can call upon and that we can utilise. And if I have all of these things, then I can call myself healthy, which seems quite challenging to have all of those three in a good balance. Obviously the misconception would normally be that to be healthy you just need to have a good immune system, you need to be free from illness or free from disease. However, this sort of proves that it's not the case. Also part of a balanced, active lifestyle, as well as all of those things in abundance, is meeting the recommendations for physical activity. So in this country the recommendation is that an adult should complete 30 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity exercise 5 times a week, or alternatively 2.5 hours per week. It's important to acknowledge those two keywords there, moderate to vigorous. So in order for it to be classed within your allocation of time, it does need to be putting your body under stress. It does need to be involving a high level of exertion, not just merely going about your daily activities. This differs slightly for children, and the alternative recommendation for children is that they should do 60 minutes of moderate to vigorous intensity 5 times a week, so even greater levels. Now I've screenshotted these again from the specification because these are the benefits of a healthy active lifestyle that the specification explicitly says that you need to have an appreciation of, and if you look, be able to describe. So it's more than likely that you may be challenged on some of these specifically and asked to elaborate and identify some of the features and characteristics of them. The final information that we need to cover in regards to this area of the specification is the qualities or attributes that physical activity stimulates. So if you are involved to the recommended levels, as well as the physical, mental and social benefits that you would enjoy, there are also said to be these qualities that you would develop, which you can then transfer into your wider life. I've only got 3 minutes left of this video cast, so we'll just quickly fly through how physical activity goes about stimulating and developing them. Firstly, cooperation. Clearly, these people are enjoying the vigours of physical activity, and they are working as part of a group and as part of a team, if you like. Now, when you work as part of a group, quite often you have to solve problems together, you have to interact, you have to have dialogue, you have to make sacrifices, you need to understand group dynamics. And the capacity to get along with people and to work with others is something that you can't take for granted and needs to be used across society. The second attribute that you might develop through physical activity is aesthetic appreciation, which is basically the capacity to visually criticise something, to look at it with a critical eye and to enjoy the way something looks. In physical activity we have to do this all the time. We're constantly analysing what other people are doing and reflecting upon it and observing and watching their physical activity, or receiving visual guidance and things like that from coaches or instructors or teachers. As well as the two we've already mentioned, physical activity promotes physical challenge, so the willingness to push your body to uncomfortable places, to uncomfortable levels, and a willingness to take on risk and set ourselves ambitious goals. Physical activity also promotes competition. It makes people competitive. It creates a desire to win. It achieves this in various ways by trying to be personal bests, or trying to win races, or trying to outscore opponents. And this can embed competitive instincts in a person that they might use, as already mentioned, in other aspects of their life. And then finally, it also promotes the development of friendships. As we've alluded to already, if you take part in physical activity, you're exposed to like-minded people, and that allows you to develop the interpersonal skills to build lifelong friendships with people with similar shared interests to you that will add balance to your life. Now, we've very much brushed over the surface of this area of the specification in the 15 minutes that we have available. So it's important that you do go away and do some additional reading, and you do supplement what I've mentioned today. Principally, I think the main things I would do if I were you were make a list of social, mental and physical well-being benefits of physical activity, ready to reel those off. And I would probably spend some time on being really clear on how physical activity promotes these attributes.